Next, let's go back to your next topic. Give the heading bolted connection. So please everyone, give the heading bolted connection. So write down in bolted connections, first portion, not write down, just listen here. Now what is the use of bolt over rivet? See, first important use or first important positive use of bolt is it is a temporary structure. I have discussed these things. So if it is a temporary structure, so what I can do, if there is some fault, I repeat, if there is some fault in the bolt or there is some crack or some if there is some manufacturing defect is there, or that one particular bolt has been totally under corrosion, so what I can do, I can actually replace the bolt without much damaging the structure. So what I can do, I can just remove the one washer of the bolt part, I can remove, I can replace. So that's why this is the biggest advantage of bolted connections, why it is a temporary structure. So write down quickly, 2 lines, quickly, 2 lines. So being B-E-I-N-G, being a temporary structure, being B-E-I-N-G, being a temporary structure or temporary connection structure, being a temporary connection structure, comma, the bolts can be easily removed, the bolts can be easily removed or replace if found damaged, which is not possible for riveted connection, right? Which is not possible for riveted connection. Now see, if I talk about a bolt, again the basic difference of bolt and rivet is in this portion part. Here this bolt actually divided in 2 parts, one is your shank part and one is your thread part. This part I can say thread. Similarly, if I talk about the bolt diameter, in the examination or in the question, suppose it is mentioned the bolt diameter is 12 mm. So bolt diameter means nothing but shank dia. I repeat, bolt diameter means shank portion diameter. Now if I talk about again, so shank dia means this portion has entire polished portion, shank part totally polished, but this part is not totally polished or totally not having some solid part. So can I say the shank and thread will have different area, shank part and thread part will have different area. So shank part, so area of shank, I can say area of the shank is actually nothing but pi by 4 into shank diameter I am considering d, it will be d square. So area of the shank will be pi by 4 into d square. But what about the thread? So thread area will be less, so area of thread equal to, it will be lesser value compared to the shank one. So as per the given code, it will be the lesser value and we will take the 0.78 times, we will take 0.78 times multiplied by your shank area. Whatever the shank area is coming, if it is 100, it will be 0.78 multiplied 100. So that's all. So shank area and thread area we can easily calculate for bolts. Now next coming to the topic, sir, what type of bolts are possible? What are the different type of bolts, right? So for different type of bolts we have to go to the basic types. So here first topic is your type of bolts. See the subtopic, type of bolts. First one, unfinished bolt, unfinished bolts. Number 2, finished bolts, finished bolts. And number 3, HSFG bolt. HSFG full from high strength friction grip, high strength friction grip bolt. If I talk about first two, unfinished bolt and finished bolt, this is also termed as nothing but your ordinary bolt. These two are also termed as ordinary bolt. This is also termed as ordinary bolt. Sir, what is the purpose, or where should I use the ordinary bolts? It is very simple. If I talk about the basic construction of asbestos or GI sheet connections, you can see in some parking slots, in parking areas, we use one GI sheets, right? And we are connecting with some steel rods, and you can find out we use one type of bolts, that is nothing but your ordinary bolt. One part which is ordinary bolt, which has less strength. What about the high strength bolts? These are used for bridges. HSFG bolts are used mainly in bridges. Now, if I talk about, sir, what is the difference between finished and unfinished? The difference between finished bolt and unfinished bolt is the roughness in the shrank part, the roughness of the shrank and thread part. Whenever you want to, just if you have some time in your if you have some time in home actually, or some construction is going on in your home, personal home, so if you have time, just go in some hardware shop and ask them, Bhaiya, can you give some bolts or nut bolt, etc. So you can see properly, you can find out that one bolt is properly polished in the shrank part and one bolt is not polished, and there is some roughness is present. So if it is finished, properly polished and finished, so I can say finished bolt, and if it is rough, it is very simple, it is unfinished bolt. There is not too much difference, but it is under the category of ordinary bolt. So I will directly discuss the basics of ordinary bolt. So write down in this portion, kindly write down first one, unfinished or ordinary or your nothing but black bolt. So first one, first category, this type of bolts are suitable only under static loading. This type of bolts are only suitable for static loading, not suitable under dynamic loading. So first point, only suitable for static loading. Not for or not suitable for dynamic loading. First important point. Next one, as you can see, static loading and dynamic loading. So again, you can actually visualize that, sir, this type of bolts are best for lightweight structures. This is not good for heavyweight structures. So second point, only or better for lightweight structures. Lightweight structure, not good for heavyweight structures, or not suitable for heavyweight structures. Third point, this unfinished bolt or black bolts or ordinary bolts, it is actually done, or it is collected from, or it is made from low carbon steel or from mild steel. So I can say made from mild steel. Very, very important, this part. This point is important. MCQ question can be asked ki sir, unfinished bolt or black bolts are made from what type of steel? So it is made from low carbon steel. Now low carbon steel means you can see it has high ductility. It has high ductility. Next one, this bolt are having a diameter of, the bolts are having diameter of M5 to M32. M5 to M32. Anything else? Yeah. One important data from this bolted connection representation. Generally what happens, a bolt is represented by some manner. Suppose in RCC, if we want to provide the reinforcement, what I will do? I will say provide 2 number of 16 mm bars. I repeat, provide 2 mm 16 mm bars, like 200 mm center to center in both directions. I can say that is representation, right? Similarly, if I want to provide in steel structure design, what I will do? I will say 470 NL M12 bolt. Yeah, here you can find out some symbols, double B or UB or FV like that. So what is the representation here? Representation is NL, 70 NL. 70 means 70 mm normal length and M12 diameter of the strength of the bolt, and FB means finished bolt, UB unfinished bolt, BB black bolt. So this way we can represent a bolt, 70 NL, your M12, 12, etc. like that way. Next one, HSFG bolt. So again put the heading HSFG bolts. So HSFG bolt, so it is suitable for heavy loading as well as for dynamic loading effects. This is your first point. Next point, we can say, see, it is made from mild steel. So can I say, sir, HSFG bolts, when we want to make the structure heavy, I have to provide harder steel. So if I want to provide the harder steel, I have to provide more harder or more percentage of carbon. So in most of the cases, this HSFG bolts are made from what type of steel? It is made from high carbon steel. Please remember this one. HSFG bolts are made from high carbon steel. Don't try to remember, just think logically. You will easily understand what type of steel is used for what type of bolts. Number 3, here the diameter are variable from M16 to M36. So M16, so mean diameter of the shank is 16 to 36, or it may be more also. So minimum it will be around 16 and maximum it can go 36. Next one, number 4, point number 4, here load is transferred by friction. Very, very important again. Load is transferred by friction. And here load is transferred by bearing and shearing. Load is transferred by bearing and shearing this side. Here no friction. Alright, so these are the first topic or rather subtopic regarding type of bolts. Is it done, everyone? Is it done? Is it done? Okay. So this is important. this is important, made from high carbon steel. Load is transferred by friction, important. Here load is transferred by bearing and shearing, also important. Alright, so write down. Next, your subtopic, drawing methodology. Give a subheading, drawing methodology. So drawing methodology, for this case, let us consider two plates are connected by some bolts. So it can be connected by lap joint, it can be connected by butt joint. So suppose these are the top view. Suppose these are the top view. This is your dotted line. Now see, two plates are kept end to end. So two plates are kept end to end, and assume that these two plates are connected by a cover plate. Let us consider cover plate, and it is connected by one row of bolts here, one row of bolts here also, and this side here also. Similarly, right side on the cover plate, I have connecting some rows of bolts this way and this way also. So according to the figure line, according to the figure line here, so what I am doing here, I am applying some pull or tensile force here. Tensile pull or tensile force is applied. Similarly, for this given diagram, tensile pull is applied here. So let us see, this type of rows of bolts are provided symmetrically. I am assuming right now symmetrically it is provided like this. So like this, some connections I have providing. So this is your nothing but butt joint. We are discussing about a simple butt joint concept. So in drawing methodology, I have to know the few terms. So like, sir, what are the terms? First one, your pitch distance. Write down first term, pitch distance. So this is denoted by nothing but small p. Denoted by small p. So write down the distance between two consecutive bolts. The distance between two consecutive bolts. The distance between two consecutive bolts parallel to the force direction. Parallel to the force direction. The distance between two consecutive bolts parallel to the force direction. Now, what does it mean? See here, this is your force direction. So I can say from center to center distance of two bolts is nothing but your pitch distance. This is your small p, this is your pitch distance. Similarly, if I talk about this one, also your pitch distance. I repeat, the distance between two consecutive bolts parallel to the force direction. This is your pitch distance. Now, IS code has recommended some standard values of pitch distance. So write down first point, minimum pitch distance. Minimum pitch distance, which is known as small p minimum, equal to is nothing but 2.5 into d. D is nothing but diameter or nominal diameter of bolt. Nominal diameter of bolt. It means whole diameter, not whole diameter. It is nominal diameter of bolt or shrank diameter of the bolt. Alright, so this is your minimum pitch distance. Next one, maximum pitch distance. Maximum pitch distance. Now maximum pitch distance again has different categories. So what is the different categories means? See, different categories means any steel member can be subjected to any type of loading. So it means if I talk about different categories, if member can be subjected to compressive force only, right? Some members subjected to only tensile force. So like only tensile force, like tie plate. In a truss, tie plates are subjected to always tensile force, right? Some members like columns in a steel building always subjected to a compressive force, right? Unless there is a huge amount of earthquake chance. So columns can be most of the time subjected to a compressive force. So it means for a particular member, particular compression member or a particular tensile member, right? So there is certain maximum and minimum pitch distance. For first category, so number A, one is there A. So maximum pitch distance for maximum pitch distance will be 32T or 300 mm, whichever is less, maximum pitch distance will be 32T or 300 mm, whichever is less, including tacking bolts. First point. So it means if the member has not told it is a compression member, it is a tension member, this member is subjected to bending, for those conditions we take the member as a general member and the maximum pitch distance should be within the range of 32T or 300 mm, whichever is less. Next one, maximum pitch, P maximum equal to 16T or 200 mm, sorry, correction please, whichever is more, not less, whichever is more, 16 to or 200 mm, whichever is more, this is valid for tension members. This is valid for tension members. 16T or 200 mm, whichever is more for tension members. No, it is less actually. Whichever is less. My fault, my mistake. It should be whichever is less for tension member. And number C, P maximum 12T or 200 mm, whichever is less value for compression members. For a compression member. So first one, general consideration, maximum pitch distance will be 32T or 300 mm, whichever is less, for including tacking bolts. Next one, for tension members, minimum value of 16T or 200 mm, and third one, minimum between your 12T or 200 mm. Now sir, what is the meaning of T? T is actually minimum thickness of plate. T is nothing but minimum thickness of plate. So here one word is there, minimum thickness of plate, that is your nothing but T. You can see T here and T here, that is your minimum thickness of plate. Okay, so there is couple of questions. Sir, what is the tacking bolt? Okay, see, tacking bolt is actually okay, so let me consider some example. You have seen some railway bridge construction and some riveted joint also. So if you see the riveted joints, so those riveted joints actually carry some force. Sir, what is the meaning? See, if we apply load P, this rivet has some strength, right? This rivet has some strength. Same for this rivet. Now what happens? Just assume you have provided a a 32 mm or rather 24 mm diameter bolt or 32 mm diameter bolt, and your load is very less, just for a reason I'm assuming your load is less. So what you can do, you can provide the pitch distance at a larger distances, because if I provide more number of bolts, your structure is uneconomical. No, our structure is not becoming economical. So we can provide the bolts at a certain long distances. So to avoid the long distance, what I can provide, I can actually imagine I can provide a bolt which does not carrying any strength. So it means tacking bolts are only provided to maintain the maximum pitch distance consideration, and also it does not carry any strength, as well as tacking bolts helps against buckling. There is three functions of tacking bolts. One is your tacking bolt does not contribute to strength. Second one is it is provided mainly to maintain the maximum pitch distance consideration, and third one is it also helps against buckling. Buckling means some sideways force is there, so this plate can actually move little bit of like this. This bolt will restrain, will not let go outside. Okay, and there is another question regarding from Anindita. First one for any case, yes, first one is actually general case. If in the question it is not mentioned in your any exam, if it is not mentioned tension member or compression member, then you have to take 32T or 300 mm, whichever is less. That is a general case. But if it is mentioned properly, tension member or compression member, then you have to take these two. One question from Vikram, which type of bolts more suitable for rail lines? Of course HSFG. I think we can understand from the concepts. HSFG, of course. Rail line means railway bridges I am talking about, and railway fish plates and connections portions also HSFG. Alright, okay. So if we talk about HSFG bolts grade, in most of the grades are 8.8 starting. HSFG bolts are having a minimum grade of 8.8, grade 8.8. Second best is your probably 10.6 or 10.8, sorry 10.8. Second grade is your 10.8 for HSFG bolts. Not like your, I think you have studied like grade 4.6 for some bolted connections. Those low strength bolts are not used in actually in heavy structural purposes. Minimum 8.8 should be used. For designing a small truss, steel truss, we have to take class 8.8 grade bolt. Now, these are very, very important. These things are very, very important. From here, there is one, this is actually one previous year's gate. This is actually what is the maximum, what is the minimum pitch distance. This is actually old gate question in 1992 or 1994 like that. These things till now in gate never came. But one of the most important topics for ES engineering services prelim papers, like from here minimum 4 to 5 times questions came. Only from these three topics or these three lines 4 to 5 times question came. So please remember the values. So these are actually first part of drawing methodology, pitch distance. Next, give the heading gauge, or someone pronounce gauge distance. It is denoted by G. So please write down gauge distance or gauge distance, whatever you want to pronounce. So write down the distance between two consecutive bolts. The distance between two consecutive bolts. The distance between two consecutive bolts perpendicular to the force direction. The distance between two consecutive bolts perpendicular to the force direction is known as is known as gauge distance, is known as gauge distance. The distance between two consecutive bolts perpendicular to the force direction is known as gauge distance. So if I talk about the diagram, this point or this portion to center of this pole is known as gauge distance small g. Is it clear? Small g, gauge distance. Now in your IS code there is no proper recommendation. Actually those pitch distance whatever I have discussed or whatever we have gone through, that is your IS code recommendation. But for gauge distance there is no proper recommendation. But in design practice we used to take the same amount of pitch distance or little bit of more of the pitch distance. Like, sir, what is the meaning of that line? Just imagine you have provided a symmetrical connection like this, and the pitch distances are also provided symmetrical. Like here you have provided 50 mm, 50 mm. Here you also provided 50 mm, right? 50 mm. Now what I can do from here, see, if pitch distance are provided symmetrically and we also tends to provide the gauge distance symmetrically, so from here to here as well as here to here, what I will do, I will try to maintain minimum distance. This one and this one is 50 minimum, but I should take little bit of more than 50. So that's why either we take 50 or we can also take 60 or 60 here also. You can also take 50 or it is also take 60. Little bit of more is actually good for design purpose. Next one, after gauge distance, you can also take 50 by 50, no problem. Number 3, end distance. Write down end distance. Write down end distance. The distance between end distance. Write down the distance between center of the last bolt, the distance between the center of the last bolt, the center of the last bolt and to the nearby end and to the nearby end of the plate, nearby end of the plate and to the nearby end of the plate is known as edge distance. Is known as end distance. Is known as end distance. Is known as end distance, comma, parallel to the force direction, comma, parallel to the force direction, parallel to the force direction. Now see the diagram, everyone. So if I talk about parallel to the force direction, so this is one CG of the bolt. So this distance is nothing but end distance. End distance. So this is your nothing but end distance. Now if it is perpendicular to the force direction like this one, center to end of the plate here, this is actually is nothing but edge distance. So the major difference between end distance and edge distance is end distance means parallel to the force direction and edge distance means nothing but perpendicular to the force direction. So end distance and edge distance, end distance and edge distance is denoted by E or E naught, which is equal to 1.5 multiplied dH or 1.7 multiplied dH. So when 1.5 for machine cut, and for hand cut. So it means, what is this meaning? So you have done this hole by some hammering. So sir, what is this meaning, hammering? I think if somebody is from places where we use the tin or asbestos, we have done hammering directly. We do not use making a hole and etc, etc. So what I have done there, I have to take more edge distance for those cases. But if I want to take the machine cut or proper design in construction site or proper construction site, we can take machine cut and we can take lesser amount of edge or end distance. Now what is the meaning of DH? DH is nothing but hole diameter. This DH value you can also find out from one table. So please go through the table. So this DH value, how can I find out the DH value for bolt? So we have to go through the one table. So this is your nominal diameter, nominal dia of bolt. Next one is your clearance, and last one is DH. So if I talk about the nominal diameter, so let us consider the nominal diameter is 14 mm. So actually it is 14 mm, 12 to 14 mm. Clearance should be there 1 mm. So it should be, DH will be DH equal to D plus, or this D plus 1. Next one, if I talk about number 2, 16 mm to 24 mm. So here clearance will be 2 mm. So here it will be DH equal to D plus 2. And last one, number 3, if it is 26, so here it will be 3 mm and DH will become D plus 3. All are in millimeter. So note down quickly. So one is your 14, 1 mm, 16 to 24, yes, up to 24 it is 2 mm clearance, and if it is more than 24 means from 26, more than 24 means from 26, greater than equal to 26, from 26 it will be nothing but 3 mm clearance for bolts. So up to this point everyone clear, is it? Anyone? Any doubt regarding the terms which are used in defining one basic structure or basic figure? Okay, gauge distance, somebody else, anything else? So first one is gauge distance or gauge distance, where it is nothing but, I think you got the definitions or basic meaning. What is the meaning of gauge distance? Gauge distance is nothing but this one. Now how can I measure this distance? Now what happens, generally this gauge distance should be minimum of the pitch distance, the clear gauge distance should be minimum equal to pitch distance. So if this distance is 50 mm, this distance is 50 mm, this distance is 50 mm, so this should be 50, this should be also 50. But sometimes for a proper representation and proper accuracy, what happens, civil engineering is not totally accurate. You cannot do it accurate in construction, believe me. So for proper accuracy, we want to increase these values. So instead of both taking this 50 and this 50, let me make this one is 60. I hope you got it now. So if you provide 50, no problem. It should be minimum equal to 50, right? But it should be 60 or little bit of like 65 this way, 55, 60, 65 like this way, little bit of more than 50. Now second question from your rail or rail tracks. See, rail tracks means you are asking that how the rail tracks have been connected with sleepers, right? See, in this case, or rail tracks are connected, or two rail tracks are connected two rail tracks are connected with sleepers. Okay. See, also dynamic loading. Just think logically again. Rail tracks, when a rail is passing on, so it is under dynamic loads. I cannot provide normal welding, normal bolting. If I provide the normal bolting, just imagine one rail gone and your tracks is also gone. So it means we have to provide the HSFG bolts. And see, all those things are regularly maintained. This HSFG bolts, they are regularly maintained. They are regularly actually maintained, as well as they actually examined frequently, because they are not more ductile, right? So that's why those are nothing but HSFG bolts. They are transferred the load by friction, not by shearing, not by bearing. That's all. HSFG bolts. Okay. Now look at the figure and tell me one very simple answer for the given diagram. If diameter of the bolt D equal to 20 mm, if diameter of the bolt is D equal to 20 mm, tell me this distance. Tell me this distance. Just look at the figure everyone quickly and tell me this distance from here to here in millimeter. Tell me this distance quickly. Just looking at the diagram, if this is diameter 20 mm, what is this distance? Somebody has told 60. Of course, machine cut. Consider it is a machine cut. 60. Dhruva has told 66. Okay, 66. Anindita has also told 66. Somebody else, is it? Yeah, correct. It will be 66. Very simple. Just looking at the diagram, you can see this diagram representing the same diagram. So it means here to here one what? One end distance, and from here to here one end distance. So can I say there is two end distance are provided here? You can see from the given diagram one end distance from here to here and one end distance from here to here. So it is nothing but 1.5 plus 1.5. So 3 into DH. So this is the minimum distance should be this one, which is equal to this one as per the given question. So 3 multiplied DH. So DH is nothing but 22. D is 20. So clearance is 2. So it is nothing but 22. I can say 66 mm. So this is what we have done in this class up to this portion, this one, type of bolted joint and drawing methodology.